December's energy reading and cards. And I thought before we start, I will tune in and just go to the heart space and connect, pick which cards we're going to work with for this session, and what I'm called to and what comes up. I want to set the intention for what is it we need to know for this month that can help us, that can guide us to work with this energy of December moving into the January, that's connected, that's in the highest good for all who will hear this container in their own now moments, this space whenever they are hearing it, not just here in December, but the energy of what is needed in this moment for you, whoever you may be, wherever you may be. So connecting to my guides, my higher self, to the tools in front of me. Which is it that I need to work with today? Okay, this one. And this one. I've been called to this one a lot lately. So let's just pop it over there for the moment. So the ones I picked were these two. So Megan Wattinson's Oracle and Diane Cooper's Dragon Oracle. So let's see what comes up. I'm going to go to the Divine first. Let's put those there. And this one. So, which one first? So I might ask, actually, I don't normally get to ask these. I'm going to pick from these two different cards. So for you yourself, think about what one you're drawn to, and that one is for you personally, but overall, this is for the energy for everyone and for this month. But if one of these you're drawn to more, that card or that reading in particular is personally for you. So I'm going to start with these ones, as those were the ones I was drawn to first in there for everyone. So December, asking about December. What do we need to know for December, for this month? Top card. We called this one out. This has come up. The prophetess of the true power. I call my power back to me from all times and all places. I am my own. And look at that lion on the front of there. I'm going to read what it says in the book first, and then I'll give you my take on it as well, because this pack is quite new to me. But just before let's start with what I'm feeling into it as well. So I'm feeling like this is to do with Lara and the Laran Council of Time, feeling that golden feminine energy coming down from creation energy, connecting, but also that's connected to our true power, aligning with that Christic sovereign self, that creation energy, and creating the situations around us that we want to bring up. The lion is the Leo energy, or we think of it as Leo. To me, it's also talking about the things that are associated with Leo, our courage, our fire, and how also we're perceived. You think of Leo, how the big mane of hair, and how it's sort of like has this kind of regal, the lion is the king. It's that, as I say, sovereignness, but it also has a presence about it. When it walks into the room, it sort of dominates, and it's this dominating energy, but in a positive way. It gives power. It's associated with that courageous sides when it's in balance. Obviously, this can also be fiery and anger and when out of balance. but I'm not seeing that here. I'm feeling a definite sense of like the prophecies of the true power. It's aligning with your own true power and that sovereign self. And if you look at her, she's got the fire, like the angel rings that we think about, like the halo. Her different levels, there's two. There's this inner layer of the fire there, the gold, and that fire that's coming up from the solar plexus, and this very faint line around the silver, and the masculine still present there. What else am I getting from this? Our ancient roots, obviously, with the feminine, but calling back that power. There's a sense that we forget. We always look to the angels or look outside of ourselves in order to for guidance. This is saying look within for guidance. Remember that guidance comes, it's connected. Those things we talk about as being external, that we kind of give our power away to, are actually all coming from faceted fractals of ourself that we are connected in, that's connected with everything, that fractal. And when you go into the internal, you connect with that highest of the high. So you can visualize going up, like I always do with my 12D filter. But actually now when I do that, although it's a sense of, oh, it's highest of the high, central suns, etc., 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 I go within, because that central sun is that spark within your heart as well. It's that fire in the belly, but it's connected, it's within there. But I'm going to read you what it says. So, prophetess, let's see. Fiesta. I can it's pronouncing that. What page are you on? 44. Oh, 44. I have 44 everything. Well, that also speaks of the energy of next year, which is 8. And it's that balance, isn't it, to me, of the 44 of the Adam Kadam. 43. So, represents the ability to call back all of our power. The acts of Paul and Theaka, I think it's pronouncing that, Thecla, I can't pronounce it, dates back to the 2nd century, though some scholars believe its Greek composition could be from early 70 CE. It relates a young woman's call to a life of teaching and healing in the Christic movement in ancient Minor, current day Turkey. Daughter of Theodosius, at the age 17, overhears Paul teaching about Christ. She says she stays rooted in place with her window for 3 days so she won't miss a word. Her mother had arranged for her to be married, so when she feels called to begin her own ministry, she is sentenced to burn for refusing to be a bride. Just as the flames are surrounding her through, she makes the sign of the cross, and a huge storm puts the fire out. She finds Paul, cuts her hair short, and tells him, "Only give me the seal of Christ, and no trial will touch me." He suggests that she isn't ready for baptism yet. Shortly after, a president of the Council of Sirius tries to take Thea in the streets to be his bride. She tears off his cloak and takes the crown from his head and publicly shames him for trying to take her without consent. She is then sentenced to death by wild beasts. In the arena, all of the women protest judgment for Thea, proclaiming her innocence. A huge lioness enters the arena, approaches Thea, and then licks her feet and bows before her. Thea enters the pool in the arena that's filled with wild sea lions. The women fear she will be killed, but she declares, "In the name of Jesus Christ, I baptize myself." And suddenly she is shielded and protected by a great ring of fire. and a glowing white robe suddenly appears on her body. Paul tells her, go and teach the word of God. It is recorded in the Acts of Paul and Thea that she lived until 90 and enlightened many. Her ministry proves the existence of female authority in the early Christian church. When your soul selects this card, Thea's story echoes from the ancient story to the modern world. Your life is up to you. Yes, there is the power of prayer, of faith, for asking for all possible spiritual support, but there's also divine will within each of us. It's will that aligns with the soul's purpose. We remember what true power is when we divest all outside authority of the power we had been given them. Power is calling back all the control we give to others to dictate our lives, our potential life patterns, our family members, our culture, even our ego's idea of who we should be. Thea reminds us that we do not need permission to be who we are. We can cut our hair short and baptize ourselves. We are not bound by anything except the dictates of our own soul. Her mudra is one of awe and wonder. We have all the power right now within us to take our life into our own hands. That's the source of fire. It's the divine will to call back our spiritual authority and claim this life as our own soul's own. When I have given my power away, so think about in meditation, where have you given your power away? And have the intention, I call my power back to me from all times and all places. I am my own. So it's this sense of giving power to other things, including how we view our own spirituality, that path of our spirituality, in praying and surrendering that power to others without knowing that actually it's us that has that power, it's within us, and connecting to that fire within us, and knowing that we are the same as that divine power, and actually knowing that we have that divine power running through our veins can create miracles in your life, but also giving yourself permission for that. It's not the ego of that, and not when you say it's I am God, it's the I am presence of God, knowing that God is within every cell in your body, rather than I'm the God kind of thing, I'm going to do as I say kind of. It's not authority over others. It is an authority of understanding and awareness of yourself on all levels, through every field. So, sense of calling back our power, calling back and understanding our spirituality is what I'm hearing and feeling of why that's been drawn for December. Really, people stepping into their courage, stepping in. Rita of Cassadia, the patroness of impossible causes. I am miraculous. My power creates powerful channels of possibility. And I'm not going to read in depth into that because I think that's mirroring what this is saying. It's the impossible causes. Actually sort of expect miracles. This is December, and lots of people actually are more inclined to do things to cultivate peace that they wouldn't do ordinarily all year. They actually are more aware of their faith at this time of year and actually tuning into those aspects. I mean, look at that picture. It's very similar. If you look at their heads, the circles, the divine, that connection to the fire and the fire around the head. One also I'm hearing too, that's that mental Gemini air in me that we're still coming out of through the beginning, as well as this sort of crowning crown chakra energy linked with the heart as well. So calling back the power from all times, all places. I am my own power. I choose, and making those choices, but also feeling I'm miraculous. I've got this. I can do this. And seeing miracles happening, having that, holding that vision for that peace, or whatever it is that we're kind of wanting to collectively create from the heart. Prayers create powerful channels of possibility, and remembering your thoughts are your prayers. If you're thinking something again and again and again and again, it is a prayer. So if your thoughts are I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, that's what you're praying, that's what you're connecting. That's, even though you may not be aware of it, you're not thinking about it. Prayers are the everyday things we do, the everyday actions we do. Take out of the concept of someone sitting there praying. It's actually the actions we take, whether we take them with love, the mental thought process that create the fields around us, and therefore the experiences. The channels, the powerful channels of possibility, are also those channels that are coming through in how you speak things when you are in alignment with your highest divine self, and aspects of that. And that could be doing everyday things like cooking, when you're out, when you're holding your children, when you are being 100% in alignment with your heart and linked to that higher awareness. It flows through you and creates everyday miracles, is what I'm seeing, as a sense of quite a gorgeous energy coming through for the next 4 weeks. And finally, from this pack, Teresa of Avila, the Lady of the Interior Life. This one's not come up. This is the first time this one's come up, so I might read this one as well. The trust, the answers I find within me. I know that the presence of love is real. It's listening to yourself. When you are knowing, when you've got that inner knowing, but you're doubting, like your brain, or it keeps coming back to that thought, but you don't want to believe it, and you're kind of pushing it away. Trust what's coming up. And I'm seeing also coming through, this is messages from the divine as well. It's trusting that interior dialogue that's there. What is it saying to you? What are those thoughts telling you? Where is it that you're aligned with? What emotions are you aligned with? Are you aligned with love? Trust the answers that you find within. When you ask, what do I need to soul, journal and ask, what do I need to know? And you take your pen and you just listen to the dialogue and you write. And this is how I started connecting. Just write. So what do I need to know that's in the highest good? And just write. And what I found when I was reading back, it wasn't me writing it was your. And I realized I was doing this dialogue, but it was coming from somewhere else. And that just took time. And trusting the answers that you find within you, and knowing that is the presence of love, and the presence of love is the presence of the divine. That's how we interpret the divine, how I say to interpret that divine, that galactic aspect within us. I feel like there's definitely messages coming through, and message of peace. Peace is there for us to cultivate. It's there for us to be aware of and hold to, and that's something that's definitely there for December. I will, as I said, read the other aspects for this as I feel it's relevant. We'll see maybe what that one says. I want to move into the other pack that we talked about. So 35, because these are quite long. With passion and conviction, Teresa of Avila connects us to the love and truth, availing ability to us whenever we turn inward. Saint Teresa was born, she's my namesake, in Avila, Spain in 1515. As an adolescent, she experienced many illnesses and was confined to bed, which allowed her to begin to explore her own thoughts. She read every book she could find on spiritual exploration and contemplation and prayer. By the time she was a young adult, she knew she wanted to dedicate her life to the inner world. She attended a Carmelite convent in Aviel in 1535. She increased the emphasis on contemplation, prayer, and eventually reformed the Carmelite order, which was later joined by St. John of the Cross. Over the course of her life, St. Teresa founded 17 convents throughout Spain. At age 44, is the 44 numerology coming up again. That's the second time today, so I think that's relevant as well. I will look that up in a second. It's to give you a more in-depth insight to that. She began to have a series of visions that convinced her that Jesus Christ appeared to her in bodily form and yet remained invisible to the eye. Their visions lasted for 2 years and would inform her books, especially the spiritual masterpiece, The Interior Castle. She charts the ascent of the soul as an inner journey through the 7 mansions or states of being that exist within us. Ultimately, Teresa wrote, in the hopes of assigning her sisters in the convent to also reach the innermost castle, there where God dwells in our soul. She reminds them that we ourselves are the castle. And I'm hearing also that's relevant for the castle, the tower, reaching the tower within, and our own tower, our own destiny, our own occult protection, and that the doors of any entry into the castle, to your soul's path, your own energy, is prayer and meditation. Her own personal spiritual experience is at the root of her instruction. The closer she gets to the 7 mansions where the soul ascended, the 7th heaven was considered the 7th dimension is where heaven is. So which requires going further inward. The stronger the light is, she desired the way to discern the voice of presence of the divine within us, and the century of certainty of God that arrives, that cannot be explained or doubted. The inner journey was so significant to Saint Teresa because she believed that God didn't care about the magnitude of anything we do, but rather the amount of love that we do it with. Pope Paul V named Saint Teresa a doctrine of the Church in 1970. Her spiritual writings are considered integral to the Spanish Renaissance and to the history of Christ's mysticism. When your soul selects this card, it calls for importance of inner life. She knew intimacy about the spiritual wealth, and I feel this is also a reflection on, for December, that reclamation of that going within, that searching, all of the things that she was talking about, the 7 layers of also the 7 laws of the universe and how we can work through them this month, how they're going to be relevant this month. She knew intimacy about the spiritual wealth we all possess and have access to if we're willing to go inward. She's not only emphasized the need to meditate and the importance of it and to pray in order to reach that innermost castle where the soul waits for us, but she also instructed this to the sisters of the convent on how to discern the presence of the soul or the saint or the holy presence that is giving us the wisdom within us. It's that discernment of what you're connecting to, whether you, which level you are, which field you're connected to, if you're going beyond like the cultural references here of the church, and think about how she's teaching. It doesn't matter what she's calling it and how she was reaching it was attached to her own beliefs. You can take what that wisdom that she has and what this represents, and unraveling that, connecting in those different layers within you. So she had bookmarked this, supposedly read, if you have God, you will want for nothing. God alone suffices. The synchronized the wisdom of her experience. Nothing less than divine love will sate a seeker, especially one you have met from within you. She urges us to meditate, to pray, to go inward and meet with the presence of the soul. And then she asks for us to believe that that it is real, and that the answer we find are real. She asks us more than inner truth, one into the world with confidence and conviction. So it's trusting your own inner knowledge, your own inner wisdom. Trust the answers that you find, trust what's being told to you, what's coming up for you through December, and know that this presence of love is real. What you're feeling is real. What you're picking up on is real. It's not to doubt that. And ask yourself in meditation, what does love feel like in the body? What is it really when you feel love from a cellular level, that divine sacred love? And trust, with the intention of this, is I trust the answers I find within me. I trust what's coming up. Trust the body and what comes up for you. I know that the presence of love is real. So when you feel love in the body, when you feel true love and you feel that resonant, you understand, you can pick up. If someone's talking and you don't resonate with them, you know in your body, and it may just be that you are not on the same wavelength, but you know when you're working through that. So what else am I picking up for these two? Feeling the filter, feeling the crown chakra is going to be relevant for this month. The fire, and so sacrum. Looking out for the messages and the symbology. The dove and the feather are two. And seeing the stained glass window and the church, which is saying to me, the colours, the filters, the fractalization of the crystals and colours around us is going to be relevant. What you put around you, what colours you put around you, how they can help you, and expecting miracles. So that feels like a really good energy. Now, moving on to our dragons. So this is the Dragon Oracle. So what is it in the dragon energy? And I really feel these are linked to the colours, the elements, the archetypal energy. So these ones have got this very kind of, they're the divine feminine aspect, but they're connected, each of these, to very spiritual women that had strong faith, that had real kind of sovereignty in themselves, in their own faith, of whatever that was coming through, but it had its cultural links to a religion there, and I feel that that's present as well for this month, but it's coupled with the fact, and what I'm hearing from my guides is that however you culturally celebrate, for example, for Christmas, what Christmas means to you, and it means different things to pagans, to Christians, to just this time of year and how you celebrate it, for different cultures, but it's the essence, like the spirit of Christmas. What's behind that is what I'm saying, tuning to the miraculous of that, because it goes beyond our faith, it goes beyond the structures of the religions. It's that connection with the internal expressing through that, rather than just blindly following this because this is what I do all the time, this is what everybody else does. And so moving into the archetypal energy of the dragon, and I feel like this is more of a deeper level. What is it on a soul level we need to know for this month? I'm going to pull all three at once because I feel like there's quite a few that I want to get through in here. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's move those ones up. So let's go backwards. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it will come up. Okay, so air dragon helps you air dragon is rise above earthly matters, communication, honesty, and bringing inspiration and hope. See life from a higher perspective. This is the mind energy. This is that Gemini energy. It's our communication, and how honest we are. Throat chakra energy linked right from the mind. So analysing what needs to be done. Where do we need to assess things and bring in inspiration via that? There's been this sense of, with all the astrology that was going on, that we need to that we can channel this creative energy of this month. And what was the ones I said? Hang on, before I go any further. So when I tuned into what is the energy for December, I said it's going to be it's peace. It's cultivating peace within us. We're in winter now. We're in water. We're in the emotion. And I spoke about this the other day with the Qigong, how those emotions are affecting us, how we're more withdrawn maybe through the winter months. So with Qigong in particular, it's from now right through till like sort of February time is the winter months. And I'm feeling a sense of, through this time, how we communicate is going to be important. So channeling in a creative way, speaking in more of a creative way, communication that's more outside of the box will help, and 100% honesty. So feeling into what is our truth, and speaking those words with love can always help anyway. And see life from the higher perspective. So always see everything from highest perspective. So I'm seeing 3 birds, and I'm remembering what the message that came through before, in a few months ago, just before the war in the Middle East broke out. I was told that the 3 doves represented the 3 peace, the 3 religions. For there to be peace with each of that, it had to happen within each of it's within us. We have the capacity to shift that. That's why it's saying expect miracles, because we can see that when we see that within ourselves, when we let go of arguing, oh, that person's right and this, no, they were right and this is right and this is wrong, and all of that kind of duality, and go beyond that and see things from higher perspective, and even analyze the way we react when we hear things and the way things being portrayed and shown to us, and be conscious and mindful of that, because I think that's that dragon. Air dragon's going to bring that through communication, being kind of risen to a higher state of conscious, our communication with each other, but also communication and media, having more of a higher conscious awareness of what's happening and what can the waves of impact that it can have is really important, and becoming more awake. And let's hold an intention for that to be the case. So next is Golden Atlantean Dragon. Helps you remember the wisdom of Golden Atlantis. It's the higher aspect of Atlantis. It wasn't perfect back then. A lot of people think of it as the Golden Age, but I remember the one as it was failing. So awakened and bringing back the knowledge, the gifts, the talents, the reclamation, and the mastery. So they had frequency, water. They worked with crystals. So it's that understanding, because we are in the reflection of that time, we are basically completely 180 of when that was happening 12,000 years ago, 12,500 years ago. So that is all coming back, but in our own time and our own energy of that. So knowledge, understanding of those gifts that we all have independently and how we can use them. I mean, we just using the phone is crystal. It's information and crystal. It is how it have, that's the most people have in their pockets. So we've all got crystals and it's holding information just like a normal crystal. But understanding it on a deeper level and how we're affected by that, how we're affected by and mastering the wisdom and understanding that they use, like with the water now, the technology with people like Veda Austin, and understanding that, and the work of Dr. Emoto, the water within our cells on the biology and how that fits in, crystal information and how that being within our field, how that's helps, excuse me, clearing. What's the resistance there? And our own wisdom and memories of that. So gifts and talents, checking in to your own wisdom, your own insights, and actually calling on that to help you this month. So I'm feeling like there's that sense of the past that links to Atlantis, and more of an understanding coming up of that as well. Also seeing a blue crystalline structure here with the there was the air one, but there's the gold with the blue. Utilizing the color, understanding of color, and how those colors are frequencies, are fields that we can use as codes within our own surrounding. Like I was saying about the stained glass window and the fractalization of crystals, it's how and what you're drawn to, picking up on that for the month. Blue also, I was going to say, for communication, linked with communication, and the throat chakra will be helpful for expressing things from a state of love in this area. So next we've got white gold dragon from Lara, and I said about the Lara energy felt like it's going to be very relevant, and personally for me I'm very connected to, but connects you to the highest Christ light. In all of the meditations I've been working with lately, we are connecting to our crystalline structure of our DNA. It's shifting. We've got loads of solar flares happening at the moment. M class, whatever, 7 or something we had a couple of days ago, that's now that hit directly. So it's this side of the earth, so it's really high. And what that does is it hits our nervous system. So on a physical level, that's where you feel it. It goes into the nervous system straight away. And on the cellular level, anything that's denser will need to shift. So what does that mean for us on a physical level? Colds coming out, feeling slightly unwell, because anything that needs purging will need to come up, and how we purge is through the body on the physical level. And if depending on how much needs purging will be how much you'll be affected. It's to live. So connecting with that higher crusted light, developing and your casual chakra. Is it casual causal chakra? A causal effect. Bath in the 9th dimensional Christ light. So 9 numbers of 9, and I'll go into the numerology in a minute because I'm saying 44 and 9 are relevant for this month. 44 meaning also as we mirror into moving out of the 7 energy of this year into the 8 energy, and I'll read that because I don't know that one off by heart, but I know it's relevant. So breathe in that golden energy. Gold and blue, I feel, are the colours to draw from. And the Laran Council of Time I was feeling into, feel like this is a sense of, as we shift with this creation energy, as we learn to work with our Christic energy, like you're saying about the miracles in the previous card with which one is it? Rita of Cassidia. It's, and even with Thea, with the lionesses and stuff, and manifesting the robes, it's things that we consider, oh, that's magic, it's too far-fetched, it's not belief, but it's going beyond belief. And I kind of almost reference Autobiography of a Yogi and the yogic practices and some of the these things that seem almost miraculous, that bringing food and like arms manifesting and seeing things happen that you would think that's not real. But if you look at the fact that the energy fields and what they taught were on different levels, and what she was saying in each of these in their own way, they were referencing it through the lens of a religious text. But if you see it more on an energetical text and on a deeper level, even more on galactic lens or galactic energetical lens and connections, it's going beyond that. But what I'm feeling we need to go and develop into, and through the bigger chakras, there's a chakra wheel, which is basically means will. The wheel of energy, the movement of energy is changing because of the light oscillation and the two different fields that we've got going on. How we're affected by what's happening cosmically, it's also affecting and evolving those systems that were written down thousands and thousands of years ago. They're updating now. They need readdressing, and they are expanding more than we've ever done before. We're on the leading edge of this, so it's actually more a kind of experimentation of what's working, what feels right, how can I shift, going within, discerning, not from me telling you, but from you discerning your own truth and you connecting with what that means for you and what that is in relevance in that now moment even, and going beyond the lens of cultural beliefs, learning beliefs and other systems, drawing from those wisdoms. I'm not saying they're wrong, they all had relevance and have relevance, but just discerning what's right and what's needed in this moment. Magenta as well, as I was saying, for the colours, so gold and white gold drawing in through the fields are coding for understanding through those higher dimensional DNA shifts. But awaken your soul memories from a higher level with a spiritual understanding. Prepare for accelerated ascension. That's basically what December is holding. Complete acceleration. It's speeding up frequency wise, which is speeding up the fields that float, that go around us, that you don't necessarily see, but we certainly feel. And we're feeling that straight away through our nervous system, and that's what it's hitting. And that's why so many people are feeling unwell at the moment, or feeling like they've got stuff, sorry, not swearing, but stuff going on. So enable you to bring forward the soul wisdom. It will mean that lots more people will be open up. Channeling is something that now I have to do, but I feel called to do daily. It feels like it's a certain way of aligning, and I'll finish with some tonight, with calling in some of these colours in maybe ending with for this last 15 minutes a meditation. So is there anything else more? What else do I see? So working with blue crystals, white gold dragon, light language with the white gold dragon of Lara, that creation energy coming in, the white lion, kind of higher time councils for your highest timelines, magenta for healing, for ascension, and that fire. And I'm almost seeing like this dragon has got, oh, I didn't show you those two, did I? He's got that fire around all of his wings, sort of burning away. So it's this heat within the body, temperature, it's the fires within, that may be bringing up anger, it may be bringing up resistance in the earth at the moment, but it's coming up. So it was quite bizarrely, the beings that and guides that came through, and I've been working with this kind of thing with my members we're talking about, where we call in higher council and sort of in speaking to as if like you have them as guides, what came through first was the master to work with the physical, with the Qigong, and that was beautiful. Aspects of helping me with the actual movement of the body and what we can physically do for our health on a very 3D kind of to help like in real time. And then this beautiful sort of firebird phoenix energy came in as well, and this sort of rebirth, death and rebirth associations. And it snowed on the 1st of December yesterday, and when I was looking up the spiritual meaning of that, it was death and rebirth as well. It's that purity, new beginnings, new starts, very lucky, great for abundance, but also it's this sense of going within, reflective time for December. And I'm seeing that sense of, after the fire, you have that ash that you put on the soil that then helps that regrowth. And we're in this withdrawn, contracted kind of time through winter, but the fires are still coming out where they need to on the earth, so that there can be this time that we've got. And if we are the ones holding or in this withdrawn space, it means then we'll be able to then, when we come up during spring, as we move into the different energies, we'll be able to use that through as that energy comes through for 2024. Now, I wanted to, before I do the meditation, to look up meaning, sorry, because I feel that it's relevance for this month. Meaning of oh, hang on. Not dollars. So number 44 represents achievements, hard work, and laying the foundations for your goals. So that's what is meaning. So I felt very much, and I've already done this with the members with I don't know if you've seen it, but on my channel it is on here, it's for everyone. I did a thing saying 12 days of transformation. So instead of the 12 days of Christmas, it's the 12 days of transformation, with the intention of we work through with the 12 days and the little points that I was like mind macking when all this download had come through. And then after that, for 12 weeks between now and February time, we would work individually on those sort of 12 points week by week. So it's bringing up that, right, this is the foundations, this is what needs to be done, this is what I need to do, and that inspired action to do it. That's what's coming up. And so whatever hard work, whatever foundations that you want, if you're laying them in now and cementing them in now for 2024, it's going to help overall. Start now, basically, but only with the inspired fire reactions that's coming up. When you see the number, it's a message from your guardian angels and the divine realm to pay attention. It's a reminder to stay focused, continue your hard work, and build a strong foundation for your future endeavours. So, see if we've got anything else. Angel number 44 meaning is your guardian angel utilize a variety of approaches to reach you, and we can blah, 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 let me divine archangels attempting to make connection with you. It carries a message that whenever things don't go your way, instead of complaining or being fearful, as we all do sometimes, just accept what happens to you and trust that everything happens for your own good. Everything, even the things you don't want to. It doesn't seem like it at first. You will eventually realise how everything comes together in the end. So the 7 energy is transformation, and it to me it's like the scythe energy in my other card pack. It's sharp change and transformation. Lots of that has been happening this year. But as we move into the 8 energy, or 8 energy, which is the 4 is sort of symbolising as not too much, it's knowing that changes for a reason. So I'm going to also look up meaning of 8 is infinity, I'd say straight away. Numerology, it's the number 8 represents victory, prosperity, and overcoming. It's also considered a lucky number in Japan, but the reason is different from the Chinese culture. 8 gives an idea of growing, prosperous, because the letter is broadens and gradually, so it's the way it's written in Chinese. That's me. Angel number 8 meaning is finding abundance, energies of vibration of personal power, higher power, shared resources. So it's that balance of resources, and that's what we're moving into in 2024, with it being an 8 year out of the 7. So that feels super relevant. So just to finish, as I said, for the last 10 minutes now, we will do a quick meditation. So if you would like to put your hand on your heart or just rest them on your lap, dominant hand underneath, calling in the guidance of the white golden Lauren energy, dragon energy, golden Atlantean dragon, and air dragon, magenta dragon, Thea, Cassadia, and Saint Teresa of Avila, and the wisdom of the wise women past, the archetypal energy of these beautiful, magnificent dragons within these realms. We thank you for your wisdom. We invoke them. We just are. It's like, what? We are. We are essence. We feel our life force. We are open to the new beginnings, to cementing the miracles in our days, to understanding the rituals of our days, our prayer, in our actions, in our thoughts, in our doings, beyond our beliefs, resonating with and connecting to love. We look forward to the moments to come for this December, to see the miracles, to contribute to the miracles, to see and cultivate peace and love in the doings in our life, acting out through and speaking through communication, through love and understanding, a reclamation of ourself, to see the purpose behind the fires, the phoenix energy, the lion energy, truth, and we thank you and are thankful for the beauty of understanding wisdom, for any symbolisms, any thoughts that have come from the words spoken from me or heard within. We are thankful. Thank you. And I will leave it at that, as it's late. Is there anything else needs to be said? Passion enables you to bring forth the soul wisdom, connecting to our divine sexuality as well. That was something that I hadn't said, but I think that's it. Thank you for your time. This should be up and you'll be able to watch it from the beginning. I'm just coming to a conclusion for December's energy. So I will see you guys tomorrow for our day 3 of our transformational 12 days of transformation, and on Monday for our Qigong. Take care. Bye.